Good night. Today I'm going to be sharing some of the questions in the interview of the application of my university, of one of my university. And this university is National Yangming Jiaotong University and the School of Medicine. So first of all, let me just explain how the process let's say how the process went. So basically, you go into a room and you spend 15 minutes with 3 professors. And maybe they're doctors or maybe they're professors, I don't know. But you just sit there and then you start up with reading a paragraph, a little short passage in English. And it'll be put on the table and you sit down, you flip it and you read it for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then you spend about 2 minutes sharing your thoughts, your reflections, and your summary about the paragraph. So basically you spend about 3 minutes in that English part. Something special is that in my interview, in my team of interview, we go through a special question in English for the paragraph. So basically it went up like you finish up the English part and then the professor will use Chinese to ask other questions, maybe about your portfolio, maybe about your personal stuffs, and then you just end up the meeting. But my team is a little bit special because one of the professors used English to ask about further thoughts about the English passage. So now I'm going to try to tell you about the question and how I answer it. So first of all, the paragraph or the passage is basically about internet safety and internet things. So it's about anonymity on the internet. So in the paragraph, it says that these kind of thing, because you can post anything anonymously, you don't need to show your personal information, you don't need to show your identity, and you just go up and then say anything you want. This actually helps a lot of people to feel free to say anything or express their feelings on social media. But the paragraph also tells us that sometimes something bad happens because sometimes some people don't know how to respect others. And based on the anonymity and based on the internet, they can share things very bad or very hostile without any limit because no one will find them because they're anonymous. They use a fake account or something. So it's about how you think about this. So I basically summarize it by this and telling a little bit reflection. I think if some people want to share their thoughts anonymously on these kind of social media, they need to have some limit, or maybe they'll have some rules based on the social media platform or the government. So there will be some laws or rules about the sharing or commenting on these kind of social media, because we don't know if people hold a great attitude on the internet. So that's my summary and reflection about this. It's like this. And so the professor asked that, what's your attitude toward this kind of issue? Did I accept this or did I hold opposite point of view? So I say that I actually hold the opposite point of view. And by that, I explain that I've seen so many bad news on the social media. Our school, we have a bulletin board that you can share any thoughts or any comments, but you are anonymously. And other thing is that there's a very popular app called Threads recently, and people can create fake accounts to share controversial thoughts or controversial ideas on the platform. So I think is that I've seen so much bad thing about this. I think I've seen so many bad examples about internet anonymity. So I hold a bad attitude at this. I think people should have their rules. People should have their limits. And so the professor furthermore, and professor asked another question. Like he asked me like 2 questions in total. That is a lot because usually there won't be any English questions. So he asked me like, so what did I think about sharing things freely? So I say I hold a bad attitude. I hold the opposite side on this. I don't agree with this, but that may limit somebody's freedom. So what's my thoughts on this? So I share my things like, I know people have freedom to share their thoughts or share their sound like freely or equally. They can share anything, they can express their feelings. But that doesn't equal that doesn't equal you don't respect others. So you go on these social media, you have your own point of view, you have your own perspective about something, but you share it anonymously and you maybe use a little bit more bad words or just some words that's not comfortable for people to see or for people to hear, and you post it on it, and then somebody might be hurt by that. And that's not freedom for me, because I think you can have your own point of view, but that doesn't mean you can share it in any kind of way on the internet, because that may hurt somebody else. So I think there should be rules. So my main idea about the story, or like this moral of the story is people can share their feelings, and the anonymity itself doesn't have any problem, but the government or the social media platform should rethink about this, because there are too many bad examples, too many bad news along the anonymity on the internet. So basically that's how I answer, and that's how I finish this talk with the professor. Thank you, everyone.